Atul, one of the things that people are focusing on, our customers are focusing on, are clearly the serialization requirements in some of the laws, Drug Supply Chain Security Act, Falsified Medicines Directive. But for me, that's part of a bigger picture of risk in the supply chain. And that's really where we get onto things like Internet of Things, IoT, and some of the technologies there. Maybe you can just run through what rfxcel is doing in that space.
Yeah, that is one of the exciting areas that we have put a lot of focus on that because once you go past compliance, you'll realize that there is so much data that you've acquired because of compliance that can be leveraged or you can add to that data using IoT. So actually this goes a few years back, couple of years back when Verizon came to us to partner with us for IoT integration. And one of the reasons that they chose us was ours is not just the EPCIS repository. It is not built around EPCIS. It is more a general purpose event management platform. So that allows you to define any event, not just the track and trace events that are typically received through EPCIS, but any event. So we actually very quickly, within few days, were able to connect with their devices, the IoT devices, by defining new types of events that are applicable for IoT that capture other attributes such as the location, the temperature, humidity, pressure, and so on. So, so the platform itself actually lends itself to receive those events and process them, apply rules on top of the event data. And that makes it very powerful. So this is an exciting area. And as companies go past compliance, they'll realize that this is a very complementary area to compliance. Now, we have integrated with many devices, and these devices have location tracking capability as well as they have multiple sensors depending on the price that you're willing to pay. They may come with just a temperature sensor or as many as we have seen, as many as 13 sensors. Mm-hmm. So, and the difference between that and a traditional track and trace in the compliance industry is in the traditional track and trace, the events are sent by a manufacturing line or somebody physically scanning the products when they're shipped out or when they're received. In case of IoT devices, it's always on and it's near real time. So you continuously get the data about where the product is, as well as the other environmental attributes around the product, such as temperature, pressure. So there are pharmaceutical or even other products that are affected by these environmental attributes. So biologics, for example, these products are affected by temperature, vibration, right, and light. And so it is important that we keep the supply chain trading partners monitor these different types of environmental attributes for the safety of the product itself. So we receive these events from the IoT devices, and we're able to do that from multiple types of devices. And then process them, apply rules on top of those. And simple rules could be just threshold-based rules. So when a temperature goes above certain range or below certain range, then you trigger an alert. That's a simple rule. But more complex rule could look into the history of what has happened with the product, take that into consideration, and then trigger a rule. Example would be detect a trend of temperature going up. And so before it reaches whatever the temperature that causes harm to the product, you can alert. So we are able to not only apply simple rules, but we can apply more complex rules. One of the rules was actually based on a mathematical formula that calculates the bacteria growth based on not just the temperature, but temperature and the time, how long the product has been out of that range. So we can do those kind of more complex rules based on the general event management platform. And to further that, we have been receiving the serialization events in the past. So we kind of combine that with the IoT events. That gives you a lot more data, a lot more rules you can apply based on both the types of attributes, the traditional attributes, that you typically receive through EPCIs as well as through the IoT kind of events. So this is actually a very exciting area for rfxcel, and I think once most of the industry goes past this, the compliance deadlines, then they'll start looking at these areas.
Right.
This area.
And particularly, I guess, for a biologics company, this could be the difference between figuring out that something's been fried in transit when you receive it and
Right.
knowing enough to stop that happening in the first place and saving yourself millions of dollars.
So biologics are the products that are affected by light, temperature, and vibration. So for those products, it is essential to monitor those three attributes. So we have sensors and IoT devices that capture these attributes, and we can set the thresholds on them and monitor them continuously. And it's using the monitoring, you can ensure that in the supply chain those products are transported safely until they're consumed. But this is an area that will continue to, IoT in general is an exciting area that we will continue to invest in, because that's the future of track and trace. And once you go past the compliance requirements and the compliance deadlines, you can combine the compliance data or serialization data with IoT data to give you an edge over your competition. So in that respect, we have done a lot of enhancements to our product related to not just managing these IoT events, but also managing the devices. Because there could be many devices that you need to handle. There could be many types of devices that you need to manage. So rfxcel system has become kind of the control point to manage multiple types of devices without worrying about the individual configurability of those devices, as well as you can set the common configurable options in one place, and rfxcel system will ensure that hundreds or thousands of devices can be configured through a push of a button. So this is, as I said, this is a ongoing area for us, and we are very excited that we are one of the first ones to invest in this area, and we are kind of seeing the fruits of that investment.